So, Obamacare doesn't cover everybody, right? So we know that. Obamacare doesn't cover it. It's better than we had. Barack Obama, instead of instituting single-payer health care when he had a Democratic Congress, instead he fought to institute the Republican right-wing health care answer to our problems, which was just a giveaway to Big Pharma and the health insurance companies. And now I'm reading in the Daily Intelligencer, which is an online news. They say this: Obama's Rube Goldberg approach to universal health care has produced no small number of problems. Many of the marketplaces have proven to be a rotten deal for the for-profit insurers, meaning the insurance companies are taking it on the chin finally, right? But turns out people willing to go through the hassle of securing health insurance through the exchanges are sicker than the general population. So the people trying to get health care through the exchanges are the sickest people.
So it's not working on either end.
So it's not working out. And while this problem was supposed to be mitigated by the individual mandate, which levels a punitive tax on young, healthy people who chose to forego coverage, unemployment millennials have opted to pay the penalty and carry on believing that they are in more. So young people, they say, aren't joining. They'll pay the tax penalty instead of joining up, which screws up the system.
Mm-hmm. Because the system is built on the backs of the people who are healthy, who are still paying into it.
That's correct. This has led some insurance giants to scale back their participation in the program and or hike up premiums to compensate for the costs of maintaining a sicker clientele. Now, in roughly a quarter of the U.S. counties, is just a quarter of all counties in the United States, just one private insurer offering coverage in the local marketplace. This absence of competition isn't helping to counter the growth of premiums and deductibles. So Obamacare has a lot of problems. So now they're saying that what we need is a public option, right? And what does a public option do? Well, a public option lets a public insurance program modeled on Medicare compete against private insurance. So what the government does is they set up their own health insurance program, just like basically they're going to say you can buy into Medicare, which is what everybody wants to do, right?
Right.
Right. So such a program would set a minimum standard for quality of coverage, ensure competition, and use the government's bargaining power to reduce payments to drug makers, medical device manufacturers, and hospitals. Sounds like a great idea. In fact, a bunch of Democratic senators, including Chuck Schumer, is going to propose this. This is amazing. We did another video on it. This is awesome. Public option. They're going to push for it because Barack Obama didn't push for it. Even though he said he wouldn't sign a health care plan without it, he did it anyway, because he sucked up to Ben Nelson instead of Dennis Kucinich. So this is great. The Democrats are going to try to do something, right? Let's see who's on board. Oh, who's not on board? Tim Kaine declines to sign the Senate resolution calling for the public option. Hillary's vice president is against the public option. Why would you pick a Republican to be your vice president in case you died? This guy is against the public option. He's pro-TPP. He's pro-deregulation of Wall Street. He's pro-fracking. He's anti- What is this guy? And this is, if I don't vote for him, it's because I'm uninformed. It's because I don't have the character to get informed, to do the work of getting informed. That's because I don't have the character, right? If I don't want to vote for that, what do you say?
This is ridiculous. First of all, to the first point, I mean, this public option is the only answer. You're seeing the wheels fall off the wagon on Obamacare. And by the way, Obamacare is a money grab for insurance companies and big pharma. So it's amazing to me that the wheels are falling off the wagon, because you'd think these are some of the most powerful entities in our country, and somehow they can't keep it together. A system based on competition, as it turns out, has none. So as we try to build in this competition, the government has to step in to create a competition. Of course, the public option makes sense. Look, it doesn't make sense otherwise. Tim Kaine also has to be in the pocket of those big interests. Otherwise, explain it to me. Then if that's not the answer, what is?
That's the answer. Everybody knows that's the answer. In fact, but there are problems with the public option. And what are the problems with the public option? Well, the main problem with the public option is that the health industry incumbents think it might work. Increasing competition and reducing drug costs may sound good to consumers, but that certainly doesn't sound good to insurers and drug companies. Come on, you guys. What do you got against prophets? What do you got against people making money off the sick? Come on. Everybody's got to eat. So even if the public option is more politically realistic than single payer, it's still a long way from being a political reality, which is what the Senate Democrats reminded the country last week. So Tim Kaine voted against. There's a lot of Democrats not on board with this. So that's why I say I'm going to have to fight the Democrats. I'm going to have to fight Hillary Clinton's vice president if I want the public option. Which isn't even single payer. That's like, and nobody can make a decent case against the public option. So when they talk against it, they're lying, right? So what they're doing is carrying water for their people, for their donors and not their voters. And that's why people hate Hillary Clinton for picking a guy like this. We're done with it. So this article says it's hard to condemn red state Democrats for refusing to commit to a reform that will never pass Paul Ryan's House. Okay. But because it will expose them to Republican attacks as advocates for Obamacare 2.0 while providing their 2018 opponents with a load of health industry money.
Right.
True, polling suggests that when framed correctly, the public option can garner majority support, but you can understand Claire McCaskill, Missouri, finding little solace in that when liberals have proven themselves incapable of turning out for midterms in large numbers. No, liberals didn't turn out because the public option wasn't on the ballot. Because minimum wage wasn't on the ballot. Because re-regulating Wall Street wasn't on the ballot. Ending war wasn't on the ballot. That's why liberals don't show up in the midterms. Not because, and the public option is a winner. Do you know they did polling on it? 80% of the goddamn country's in favor of it, and Democrats can't even run on a winning thing. They're afraid to run on a winning thing because I'm in a red state. When are you going to become populists? What are you going to do what the people want? Can't you read a poll? It's all about I'm a red state.
I thought you were going to say it's about donors, and that I think is what it is. It's about.
Sure.
They're about getting the money. They know that running on the policies that you suggest won't bring in the money. I mean, those aren't corporate interest policies, right? If you want big pharma money, if you want corporate money, you're not supporting a public option
at all.
Right.
So Tim Kaine, this is what this article says. It says Tim Kaine, however, has no excuse. He's the party standard bearer's second in command. He has no business rebuking a policy that the sitting Democratic president sees as an essential reform to his signature health care law. Because Barack Obama's on board for this, and Hillary Clinton said she's on board for it. But Tim Kaine, he's like, well, no. Tim Kaine's like, nah, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea giving a public option to people. Let's keep screwing them over in favor of profits for corporations who deny them health coverage. What a joke this Tim Kaine is. For him to stand up there like he's morally superior to Trump when he's in bed with a war machine, when he's in bed with keeping health care away from sick, poor people, and he's going to that's what I'm saying. These people are despicable. I think Tim Kaine is despicable. He's not a good liberal. He's not a good progressive. He doesn't care about his voters. He only cares about he's horrible. But I'm uninformed if I don't vote for it.
But this is the future of the Democratic Party. Do you see these?
No, this is not the future of the Democratic Party, because if they lose this time, which I bet they will, this is over. They're all what?
I think they go the other way.
You think they're going to nominate another war in bed with?
I worry that the Democrats.
I mean, Bernie almost did it this time, and he was down 60 points in May.
Yeah.
And she lost a 60-point lead to a 75-year-old Jewish guy who couldn't stop talking like this. Fucking Debbie Wasserman Schultz. More lemons. Waitress, more lemons. So there you go, Tim Kaine. So that's bad news about the Democrats. I got to fight Tim. This is what I'm talking about. This is what people are sick and tired of.
These are the faces of the Democratic Party.
This is what the Democratic Party says. Take it and shut up. Grow up. You don't get to vote for whoever you want. You're wasting your vote unless you vote for Tim Kaine, who's right to work, pro-TPP, against the... I mean, this guy is Marco Rubio. What is this guy? What? I'm serious. How does this guy call himself a Democrat? Because he's pro-choice? That's it.
Am I misinformed? Wasn't he Debbie Wasserman Schultz's predecessor?
He was the
of the
predecessor
DNC?
at the DNC, and now you
Yeah.
know why the DNC is so corrupted and rotten to the core. I don't understand how the DNC could put their thumb on the scale for a candidate who's weaker. You know why? Because they would rather risk losing to Trump than risk winning with a progressive who's going to upset their money apple cart. Isn't that disgusting? And now those same people who did that wag their finger at me and say, vote for this person who we rigged the system against and screwed you out of your progressive. Now vote for her. That's it's crazy. The voting the lesser of two evils is what got us here. And if you really believe that Donald Trump isn't incompetent, which I do, what are you afraid of?